I'm telling Rory, don't mention my name because I never mentioned you. I didn't say white boy.
I'm hearing in the streets that Rory and Mal was getting paid $40,000 a month to sit on their phone and not be prepared for this podcast.
What?
All right, so last week, Rory was a little upset that Queenz, Flip, and Parks was speaking on him on the Joe Budden podcast.
Twitter.
That's been, and I've shut up about the Flip thing. I get it. You now it's with your mans and you want to do this and that, rah, content over everything. Mal and I don't speak about you. We don't say anything negative. We don't say anything positive. We don't say a single word. And matter of fact, out of the whole old pod, I was the one that pumped Flip the Script more than anybody. I have been a supporter of everything him and G-Money were doing, vocally, publicly, and he knows that. So to just randomly throw shots when we don't say a word about you,
but with
is corny to me.
Listen, man, you know, I get it, man. Everybody want to throw shots. Everybody got something slick to say. It's like, all right, cool, man. You know, I don't know these people. Anybody that's throwing shots on me on any show, social media, I guarantee you we have.
All right, we already know Mal is about to say, that's corny. That's corny to me.
I'm not throwing shots at nobody. You know how corny that is to me?
Now, not only did Flips respond to Rory, he also had to shoot a couple of shots at Cesar Pena for playing with him this weekend when he posted this picture of Flip on his Instagram. Because y'all remember, Flip said he don't know who Cesar Pena is. So he said, you don't know who I am? And he posted this picture of Flip in his basement rocking his Trap Landlord hoodie. So here's what Flip had to say on this week's episode of the Joe Budden Pod.
What I'm saying is this, though. Like, we talking about, you know, I did see Rory's, what he said about me on his Patreon. I heard about it. I have to say that you becoming a part of the problem instead of the solution, right?
Queenz Flip response.
You're becoming part of the problem. You're becoming part of the problem instead of the solution, because the solution would be just to, or you know, do your investigation to understand. You know, as far as Mal is concerned, you know, we have a friend, a mutual friend, and I've always stated that, you know, I wanted to interview him in January, but I signed to the Joe Budden podcast, and I got a call that I was doing some funny stuff, not from him, but just people that are inquiring that were in the situation. Now, when I said what I said, the line that I set up here, it's just to bother Joe. It wasn't really a shot at Mal, and my subliminal tactics, like Joe said, is really not that good, because I didn't think it was offensive. I was taking a shot, and he understood it. Mm-hmm. I was saying, yo, Joe, like, just like Joe makes bad choices in friends, because that's what he was saying about me. So I said, yeah, just like you let the other fat nigga do that and do this. It was just a conversation between him and I that we had, or with others that I got some information on, and that's what I'm saying.
Bad.
Hold on, nigga. So what I'm saying is that it was never meant to throw a shot, because I'm appreciative. I said up here plenty of times in front of you niggas that Rory and Mal, them niggas, one of them niggas shouted me out a couple of times. I even put a picture up. They shouted me out on the podcast.
Write that time down.
Yeah, write the time down. They shouted me out on the podcast, and they shouted me out up here, flipped the script with G-Money, and I'm appreciative. I always said that. So I just don't like that. So if you're gonna cause trouble, I'm a nigga that's outside and I'm tangible. All this old nigga you see these niggas is doing, no disrespect, that is not me. I'm a nigga, I stay outside, I'm going to come, I'm going to record it. Nigga that posted, hey, Caesar brother that posted a shirt called Fat Boy, I went to the house that I met you in, nigga, and you don't live there no more. I went there right in that backyard where I shot the skit at, I have it documented. As soon as you posted that picture that, I went there, nigga, me and JR. Look at the cameras and call the niggas that live there. That's the type of nigga I am. And I'm not gonna do it online like how y'all want me to do it. Don't listen to these niggas. I'm a nigga that's outside. If you play with me, I'm gonna make content out of you, and I'm gonna post it. And I got mad at Fat Boy, because Fat Boy made me put on that Trap Lord shirt. And I said, Fat Boy, why you made me put that on? This nigga, he's oh, that was my best friend. Nigga, I'm going back over there. Flip chill, I don't think he lived there. I went over there and I got it documented. I can provide the proof. Tell me the other address. I'm not playing with these niggas, so what I'm saying is that I don't want anybody causing any trouble. Shout out to the fellas and all the podcasters. I think that you guys are doing great. But please don't paint any narratives and make it seem like I'm throwing shots. I have nothing to do with nothing. I did say something. Whether you liked it or not, it wasn't in malice. It wasn't malicious. It was in fun. And that's it. I leave it at that. I have nothing bad to say.
So that is your apology.
It's not an apology. I'm just saying, no, I'm telling Rory, don't mention my name because I never mentioned you. I didn't say white boy.
Okay.
I didn't say a nigga that want to be down with black people. I didn't say somebody that's misappropriation of code. I didn't say none of that shit. I don't know you. I don't play like that. Don't play with me. I will use that. Don't make no face. I would use that call for real. I don't know that nigga. Don't call my name. Me and Moore have a friend in common, and he cool. I spoke to the nigga on the phone. I didn't never spoke to you. Don't call me, nigga. And when me and I ain't gonna say the other part. Stop.
You did it. You did it.
I don't like that.
You did it. You did it, big dog.
Because you can't cause trouble between blacks. You instigating. Because I wasn't even.
Okay.
I don't like that, bro.
Rory, this is what you get when you try to shoot shots at a comedian. Now, of course, we know Rory isn't racist, but you're going to have a lot of people saying, you know what? Rory is a culture vulture. I don't like how he thinks he knows all about R&B and he's always talking about my melanin queens. SZA should stay far away from Rory. See, when you mess with a comedian, he gonna always play that race card on you. He gonna always be real witty and very selective with his words and try to make you look stupid. Now Rory gonna be fumbling and mumbling on this week's podcast. I'm giving you some advice, Rory. Don't try to defend yourself and say I'm not racist. That's gonna actually make you look racist, okay? We all know Flips is joking. Honestly, like Park said earlier in this clip, I don't know if I got it in the vid, but it was 3 years ago. Why is Rory and Mal still talking about this? And I get it. I saw Joe do a podcast with Savon recently, and he spoke on, what was going down, and it was a secret meeting that Joe wasn't privy to, and they were talking about how they wanted to leave the podcast and yada yada, but Joe wasn't messy. I don't even think he even mentioned Rory and Mal's names during that little clip that came out. Go look up Joe Budden's secret meeting, the end of the podcast or whatever. I forgot what the video was called, but he didn't say anything disrespectful about Rory and Mal. And I'm just saying that even when Joe is forced to speak about the situation, he's not getting messy. But when Rory and Mal hear anything about their names being brought up on the podcast, they want to go into some 10, 20 minute dialogue and obviously it helps their numbers. I'm just going to be real with y'all. Because they know people tune in to see, oh my God, Rory and Mal are going to respond. And they're going to do the most. This is just 5 minutes out of a 3-hour podcast that Joe put out today. You know what I'm saying? They touch on this stuff and they move on to the topics. They don't spend all day talking about Rory and Mal and what happened 3 years ago. And I know some people might be looking at Queenz Flip and saying, he didn't join Joe and now he beefing with the old co-host. It's kind of corny or whatever. But, I appreciate him for coming and doing his job. See, every time I hear Queenz Flip speak, it reminds me of all the carrying Joe had to do when he was hosting this podcast by himself and Rory and Mal was just sitting there on their phones. I'm hearing in the streets that Rory and Mal was getting paid $40,000 a month to sit on their phone and not be prepared for this podcast. I don't know if that's true, but that's crazy. That comes out to $500,000 a year. And they never went viral. They never had clips. They never went against the grain. It was always Joe going off on the ledge by himself. And he turning around and he's saying, is Rory and Mal gonna have my back? Are they gonna say something? And now he brings in Queenz Flip. He says something. It goes viral. You might not like it, but people pay attention. It's not just Joe. Joe just hurt his hand in the altercation at the club. He needs a rest day. He's like LeBron. He can't be playing 33 minutes every game. And guess what? Queenz Flip is willing to step up. Ice is willing to step up. Ish is willing to step up. Even Parks, my boy Parks is out there, getting it cracking and shaking now. I see people trying to go at Parks now. I'm like, okay. That lets me know that Parks is saying stuff that people are listening to. Meanwhile, Joe carried this podcast and everybody said, not everybody, but some people said, Rory and Mal were so fundamental to the growth of the Joe Budden podcast. I'm not going to take everything away from them, but we not going to act like they ever had something interesting to say, because they didn't. It was always Mal talking about something that's corny and Rory talking about a black girl. Okay. Oh, and then he had like a dog and his little dog that he would bring into work. That's all they contributed. Okay. I almost forgot the word because I'm getting too excited. But I'm just glad Joe don't have to carry this podcast by himself anymore. And we'll see what Rory has to say next week. But I'm still loving the podcast. Joe is just showing y'all that he can continue to make a good product without Rory and Mal. And I think that's why they're still salty and talking about stuff from 3 years ago every chance they get. They could have ignored what Flip said last week, but they needed the content. And then got the nerve to be talking about Queenz Flip is content over everything. That's what y'all doing over there, Rory and Mal. Let me know what y'all think about this. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Peace.